to the White Towel panel video where we're going to discuss Canucks at 50 here from the Canucks at 50 studio with our good luck Kurt Ridley poster behind us. Got to reference it every week. We've got Steve Tambolini over there in the corner too. This
Talk
is
to Steve.
Yeah.
Talk to Steve. Tracked him down at Predator Ridge. Yeah, he's a great guy.
You've done a number of these stories, I bet. If we look at the what we're doing this month is the 90s, and just such a vastly different decade, from starting at the bottom, obviously the peak in the middle with 94, and then the disaster at the end, which we'll get to. Ben Kuzma this week had a short story of 4,000 words on the 94 series. But going through it game by game, it was fascinating. I forgot that their best player, Pavel Bure, was suspended for one of the games.
Yeah.
You know, really, what a group. And some of the reader feedback has been amazing, that 2011 was a more talented team, but 94, no one beats that for how they attach themselves to the fans.
Yeah, I think so. For a team that's never won anything, that's kind of been, mediocre or below mediocre, quite frankly, for most of its existence, the stories are so rich around this team, and as we dig deeper into them, I'm just amazed at the tributaries that arise. I'm in the process of finishing one on the trade that brought Marcus Naslund to Vancouver, and there's about 2 or 3 offshoots that were fascinating stories by themselves. I completely forgot he had to sue to get released from the Swedish Federation so he could sign with an NHL team. He was actually a Group 4 free agent. He was restricted, but he was open to offer sheets. When he came to the NHL, he eventually signs with Pittsburgh. His first line is his first 2 line mates are Ron Francis and Jaromir Jagr, and he scores 4 goals. This is a guy, franchise. Exactly. And then the other fascinating bit for Canucks fans is Alex Stoyanov, because it's now the way it's been recorded, one of the most lopsided trades in NHL history. Well, Stoyanov was 6'4", 220. He was drafted. He had something in the order of 27 goals in 35 games his draft year. Plus, he'd lumped out Eric Lindros in a fight. He plays as a 19-year-old. They send him to Hamilton. He scores 4 goals in 4 games. Yeah. And I'm trying to imagine, if this was like 2020, and this was like a 7th overall pick who just landed in Utica and scored 4 goals in 4 games, the uproar that would greet him. But that was it. That was the high water mark of his career. He hurt his shoulder. He's never the same. He comes back. He plays basically as an enforcer. Yeah. Has 1 assist with the Canucks, and they do this trade. Here's my problem for your problem, which was done a lot. But Pittsburgh's problem turned out to be Marcus Naslund.
The funny thing, obviously, is you had Cam Neely, who they gave up on too early, and then probably held on to Jim Sandlak too long. Right. And so with Stoyanov, they're going, which one was it? But it turned out really well for the Canucks. What does it say about that decade, though, as we're getting into the last part? You had it built by Pat Quinn that led to the crescendo of 94. But then when that collapses and Mike Keenan comes in, and you look, Naslund came in, but Linden left, Bure left, Jelena, they just changed that team over. Was it too much too soon, or was it just the way Keenan operated?
Yeah, it was, and I kind of look at ownership too. This is the period where the Griffiths are phased out, and John McCaw, who did no desire to own an NHL team in Vancouver, sends his henchman Stan McCammon to run a lot of the show. They just one mistake after another, and the trickle down effect was seen in what happened to the team on the ice. Keenan is such a strange one for me, and there's probably a book that should be written about that. What is it? I guess it's 2 years he's here. It's most of the full next one, and then up until he's fired by Burke the next season. And I know there's kind of a revisionist view. Well, look at the trades he made, and absolutely, you can't argue with those. But the effect he had on the team and then the franchise, and just the chaos that was inflicted. And going back, he made 11 trades in a 3-month period in 98, at the end of the 97-98 season, and they weren't like small moves. It was like Linden. It was Marty Jelena. That was later. Marty Jelena. It was Kirk McLean. It was Gino Odjick. These players that had really been a lot of the core of that 94 team that as you said, had such a strong attraction to this market. It's just amazing stuff.
It really is. I remember being in Edmonton, I believe the Grey Cup was on, and one of the other, I think it was an Edmonton writer, said Pat Quinn got fired by a guy called Bellringer, and apparently he grabbed him by the throat and pinned him to the wall, which of course we couldn't quite confirm for a few years, and then that story did come out. But there's also so many rich stories in our Canucks at 50 anniversary series. You can catch them all month long, all season long actually, as we go along with collecting these fine posters.